I have worked in hospitals and clinics for over a decade, and I need you to hear me clearly. Most people over 50 have a hidden neurological risk sitting right inside their own kitchen. It isn't sugar, it isn't salt, it isn't cholesterol, it's their cookware. You might be standing at the stove right now. Oil hisses, onions sizzle, the air smells like morning, warm, safe, familiar. But what you can't smell is danger. Because if that pan in front of you is old, scratched, or worn thin, you may not just be cooking breakfast. You may be slowly cooking your blood vessels. Every time that surface heats up, invisible toxins rise into the air, into your food, into your lungs. They trigger inflammation, thicken your blood, and erode the delicate arteries that feed your brain. What I'm about to tell you isn't a kitchen warning. It's a neurological emergency in disguise. Here's the truth. Most strokes don't begin in hospitals. They begin at home, with one breath of something you never saw coming. Over the years, I've seen patients who never smoked, ate well, exercised, and still suffered strokes that could be traced to chronic exposure from damaged non-stick pans. Stay with me, because in this video, I will walk you through 7 critical steps every adult over 50 must take to protect their brain and arteries from silent chemical assault inside the kitchen. These are the same changes I wish every patient had made before I met them in recovery. And wait until you hear number 3. It's so simple, most people ignore it, but research shows it can cut your exposure dramatically in just 1 week. Before we start, tell me this in the comments. How old is your oldest pan? I read and reply to every answer myself. It's how we turn awareness into action. Now, let's begin with step 7. The one that could decide whether your arteries stay clear or start closing silently. Number 7, know the enemy. Understand what's in your pan. Most nonstick cookware is coated with PTFE, a chemical cousin of Teflon, often manufactured alongside PFAS, what scientists call forever chemicals. They make cooking effortless, eggs slide, and cleanup takes seconds. But comfort hides a cost. The danger doesn't appear when the pan is new. It begins when time and heat start to break it down. Above 500 degrees F, that stable-looking coating begins to unravel at the molecular level. Microscopic particles separate from the surface. Invisible gases rise into the air. You can't see them. You can't smell them. But your body does. Older pans, especially made before 2015, carry an even heavier burden. Many were made with PFOA, now banned in dozens of countries, yet still lingering in homes today. Once these chemicals enter your bloodstream, they don't leave easily. They settle in tissue, resist breakdown for years, and slowly inflame the lining of your arteries, the endothelium, your body's internal armor that keeps blood flowing smoothly. Before you think it's just a little smoke, understand this. What rises from that pan doesn't stop in your kitchen. It goes somewhere far more personal. Your lungs, your blood, your brain. Number 6, watch the invisible chain reaction. When you heat a Dulwich pan, fumes enter through your lungs. They land on tiny air sacs called alveoli, tissue built for oxygen, not for chemical warfare. Your immune system responds with inflammation, leaking molecules into your bloodstream. Within minutes, that irritation can ripple through your vascular system. One breath carries in the insult, one heartbeat spreads it. That's how an ordinary breakfast can trigger the same biological chain reaction seen in early stroke pathology. Thicker blood, narrower vessels, unstable pressure. And here's where the story takes a sharper turn, because what your body could once shrug off in your 30s can quietly become catastrophic in your 50s. Age changes the equation. As we age, our resilience fades. arteries stiffen, blood pressure rises, the brain's protective reserve shrinks. So when another stressor, like chemical exposure, enters the mix, its impact multiplies. A 30-year-old might compensate, a 50-year-old cannot. Studies now show scratched nonstick cookware releases micro and nanoplastics that disrupt metabolism, raise blood pressure, and promote clot-friendly inflammation. If you already live with diabetes, hypertension, or atrial fibrillation, that's like pouring lighter fluid on a slow fire. This isn't a maybe issue, it's an act now issue. Now that you understand the risk, it's time to face it head on, starting with the tools you use every single day. Number 4, run a kitchen checkup right now. Before another meal, inspect your cookware. If your nonstick pan is more than 7 years old, scratched, flaking, or patchy, retire it. Don't save it just for eggs. Never preheat an empty pan, never cook on high heat, and always ventilate your kitchen. Metal utensils and aerosol sprays accelerate the breakdown. Wooden or silicone tools are safer. This single habit change can dramatically reduce chemical exposure within weeks. Once you have cleared out the danger, the next step is simple. Replace what's harming you with what protects you. Number 3, upgrade to safe materials. Switch to stainless steel, seasoned cast iron, ceramic-coated or carbon steel pans. These tolerate heat without releasing hidden chemistry. If you must keep one nonstick surface, preserve it for low-heat dishes and replace it as soon as wear appears. Think of the step not as replacing cookware, but as replacing risk. Even if your pans look fine, your body might already be sounding the alarm. And those signals are too important to ignore. Number 2, listen to the early warnings. Your cookware isn't the only thing sending danger signals. Your body speaks too. Watch for subtle neurological whispers, a weaker grip, tingling or numbness on one side, brief speech slips, or sudden spikes in blood pressure. If you notice these and you've used old nonstick pans for years, tell your doctor directly. I have been using worn nonstick cookware. Could chemical exposure be affecting my vascular health? That one question can completely change how your risk is evaluated. You've seen how the damage begins. Now it's time to understand how to stop it before it takes what you can't replace. Number 1, protect the reserve you have left. By the time you reach your 50s and 60s, your body isn't fragile, it's experienced. But experience comes at a cost. Arteries stiffen, the protective lining that keeps blood flowing smoothly wears thin, and recovery slows. Every small insult, stress, poor sleep, hidden toxins from worn-out nonstick cookware chips away at your remaining reserve. Think of your circulation like an aging bridge. It still carries weight, but each extra load shortens its life. Keep using a failing nonstick pan, and you're adding invisible strain to arteries already working hard. The body whispers long before it breaks. First a slip, then a tremor, then silence. Protecting your reserve isn't about fear, it's about respect. Replace what harms you, lower inflammation, and keep your blood and lungs clear. Every small change strengthens your body's last great defense, resilience. Prevention isn't a luxury, it's the only cure time still allows. Before we wrap up, let's separate fact from false comfort, because a few dangerous myths are still keeping too many people at risk. I have used this pan for 20 years and I'm fine. Maybe, but that's luck, not proof. Modern nonstick pans are safe. True, when new and used correctly. Old, scratched, or overheated ones change the chemistry entirely. It's only about cancer. No. The first damage often strikes your blood vessels and brain long before tumors appear. Just because we don't smell it doesn't mean it's not happening in kitchens every day. What to ask at your next doctor's visit. At your next appointment, say, I am over 50 and have used old nonstick cookware for years. Can we review my vascular health? Ask about carotid artery scans, blood pressure, and lipid reviews, and any discussion of environmental exposures. That one conversation can shift you from a passive patient to an active participant in your own prevention. Small choices decide how gracefully you age. You have earned decades of clarity, laughter, and conversation. Don't lose them to a silent, preventable stroke. Your cookware is a tool, but it's also a message. When it shows where, it's your cue to protect your health, not cling to nostalgia. Tonight, open your cabinet,